you. You can just say a few lines and then she will live.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Nice for all of you to come. I think it's a really enriching experience. Actually, there are these, like, you get mails, people forward and all, and around 3 weeks ago after our faculty meeting, we're deciding, we should have presentations. And then I saw this mail from Zamir where he was talking about himself and his organization and his experiences. And even though I've worked on the area of disability for so long, I've not really interacted with the deaf-blind community. So it was also for me an important learning experience that I wanted to get to know more about them. And then he was going to see for me, he's going to come in Delhi in January. So I said, you must make a presentation or something. And then he wrote and he said that he's going to be in Delhi this time. So I asked our director whether we could, hurriedly arrange a presentation so that he could come and tell us about, not only, the disability as such, which most of us are familiar, but what is life like with the experiences of being deaf-blind, and what is this, he's done so many things, with his hands and everything, and what is the organization that he has come, now the for empowerment of the Deaf-Blind Association for Empowerment of Persons. So, we wanted to know more about him and his book as an advocate. So I thought it would be really nice for all of us here to get to know a new area, a new domain, which is also in a way new for me. So I think Vandana will take over from you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have a very special speaker, Mr. Zamir Dhale. So before I invite him to deliver his talk, I would like to share a few things about Mr. Zamir briefly. He himself is a deaf-blind. However, despite fundamental barriers, he has numerous achievements to quote. He has passed the MS Office course from Qureshi Management Service, Pune, 2002. He has passed SSC. He has done a basic computer diploma course from HKIDB, Mumbai in 2005. He has also successfully passed phone and computer application theory, NAB, New Delhi, 2019. He has cleared HSLC at the National Association of the Blind, New Delhi in 2021. Currently, he is pursuing a BA program at the School of Open Learning, Delhi University. He has also a lot of work experience as well. He has participated in a workshop in Mumbai by NASEOH, where he has trained to fit washers, screws, keys, and other fitments. He has also learned wooden works, including producing tables, canning chairs, beds, etc., and binding files and books. He has also learned tailoring works to make leather and cloth bags. Bed sheets, pillows, fridge and soft sofa covers. He was also associated with National Association of Blind, Worli, Mumbai, where he was trained to repair electronic items and wooden brushing works. He was also a physiotherapist and messer. He has worked with Godrej company to fix parts of latest typewriters, parts assembling, metal fitting work, constructing cupboards, and other metal-based products. While working at Godrej, he has also assisted workers in fixing screws and handles. He has also learned to use drill machines to install mirrors on cupboards. He has participated in the workshop at Helen Keller Institute for the Deaf and Deaf-Blind, where he learned to operate braille press to produce braille books and experimental cards. He has assisted in various tasks, including reading, hand looming, preparing tea, cooking lunch, gardening, and teaching computer theory, gym, and yoga to deaf-blind students. He has also coached deaf and deaf-blind students in the swimming pool at YWCA, Mumbai. He was an assistant in the film production, Black Film, Bollywood, you must be knowing, in 2003, by providing training and guidance for actors to understand and portray characters with deaf-blindness. He has also worked as a senior advocacy officer at Sense International, India, advocating for rights and needs of deaf-blind people in India. He has actively created awareness of the deaf-blind children's issues among civil society and government organizations. Influence disability, education, and health policies through collaboration with the state and central government. He is the president of the National Network of Adult Deaf-Blind UDAN, Advocacy Coordinator, Deaf-Blind Enabled Foundation. He is a founder and consultant at Society for Empowerment of the Deaf-Blind India. Currently, he is a freelancer and consultant with other organizations and companies. He has many notable achievements also. Some of them are: He has studied IT classes and obtained a computer with a Braille keyboard in 2000. He received vocational award in 2006 by Rotary Club of Bombay Pier for outstanding contribution to the visually challenged. He visited the Helen Keller National Center, New York, US, and participated in the American Association of the DeafBlind at San Diego, California in 2002. He was the first board member of the National Trust for the Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, mental retardation, and multiple disabilities, a statutory body under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India in 2006. He was a member of the committee formed under the Ministry of Information and Technology to review existing policies in 2010. He received the 2011 Helen Keller Award from Chetna School, Kolhapur in 2011. He was honored with the Role Model Award by Retina India in 2011. He received the Kevin Clevery Ability Mastery Award in 2010, and the list goes on. Today he is going to speak on DeafBlindness, advocacy, and empowerment. Thank you. Over to you.
So should I start? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Really happy to be meeting all of you. Makes me really happy. I'm here so that my message, you all get to know about the kind of life a person with deafblindness has, the kind of challenges we suffer. There was not much information about deafblind people, but the situation is changing a little bit. I established the SEDB, that's the Society for Empowerment of Deafblind, because there is this in the society right now, there will be a lot of organizations for the deaf, for the blind, for persons with disability, but not for deafblind. There was no organization in India. So we didn't have a fallback for the deafblind community, no opportunities to come together. So when I joined Sense International, it really broadened my horizon, because I can compare. Before Sense International, my Marathi was not that great. Basically my communication skills really changed, because coming into a professional environment for an organization like Sense International, I had to be at the forefront, a lot of emails, a lot of communication. So my communication definitely got better. I was born deaf, not deafblind. When I remember that I really enjoyed my sense of sight. It gave me a lot of joy to watch the television. I was a cricket fan, wanted to learn cricket myself, and I played also a lot of different technologies, really playing marbles. And I was really good at these things. But I also had a lot of failures. But I never stopped trying. One thing which I really wanted was that kids who in my neighborhood, mostly hearing children without disability, I saw them play cricket every day. I was the only deaf kid amongst them, so most of the chatter that they had every day, what they were talking, was not accessible to me. I could just see them communicating with each other. But cricket, it developed visually, and win or loss didn't matter at that time. I was just very excited to start playing. And one thing which I noticed was that I was not very easily, they wouldn't take me in their teams. They said that, no, if you take Zamir, you will win. I was like, no, that I can help you guys. So you know, I kept trying, batting, and you know, you're hearing kids, the other team, they were really angry because I scored very well. I batted really well. And they didn't choose me, right? The other team chose me. And so they were surprised that how is this guy playing so well? So they were really jealous, you know. They wanted to hurt me. I thought that doesn't matter, but I kept at it. They, you know, what they did was they would trick me with the ball. They would, you know, throw it to each other and not bowl properly. And one ball came and hit me right in the eye, really bad. And I was hurt. The pain left was there for quite some time, and I got sick after that, which my vision, I resulted in getting Usher syndrome from there. That, you know, I was really worried after that because I was already deaf and my vision was receding at night. I couldn't see. I just kept banging into objects. So during Diwali, I wanted to be part of the celebrations, them bursting firecrackers and stuff like that. But the kids again didn't want to have me with them. Again, that element, you know, of jealousy. They would have the chakhi or something like that they gave to me. I didn't know how to burn it. So I kept it. I put a match to it. I couldn't see very clearly. By that time, my vision had deteriorated a lot. Whatever little vision I had, there was a slight mistake and it burst right in my face, that cracker. All I could see was black fumes everywhere. It was in my face, in my eyes, in my nose. I was weeping profusely and I was got home and my parents were really angry because they were like, why did you do this? Why weren't you careful? And they put some ointment, some oil, and my vision deteriorated further after that. And the only sense I remember was pain from the sunlight. And gradually, I was totally blind. And I went to a deaf school and my vision was like, all I could see was some dark patches. The vision where I sat from the board was not very visible because it was at quite a distance. It's really far. So I couldn't make out anything. Spectacles didn't help. So I would request the teacher if I could sit in the front row. The teacher said, no, be where you are. Just keep sitting where you are. They didn't understand that I required different kind of adaptation. I couldn't, I couldn't take the notes. The teacher naturally got angry that why aren't you learning? Why are you just sitting idly? But she wouldn't understand that I couldn't see. I was already deaf. I was sitting really far from the board. Why should the teacher be angry at this kind of an instance where it's not my fault? The teacher said, you go to the doctor, get fixed. But here, the attitude of teachers to not help children who are different. And I could feel that the students around, they were having a good laugh at my situation. I could see them clap. I could sense that they were smiling, they were having a gala time, they were like, why isn't this guy, going somewhere else, this, that. And this is the first time they had seen someone like that. So naturally, my frustration came out from my parents that, this is so embarrassing. I'm in school, they are making fun, I don't understand anything. My vision is totally gone. My friends are mocking me. Every day I have to feel this embarrassment. My parents now were really, really worried. My father, at this point of time, he was thinking of putting me at a deaf-blind school. So in Bombay, they found out a deaf-blind school, and this was the Helen Keller Institute. full form is Helen Keller Institute for the Deaf and Blind. This is the Bombay. This is the only such institute. I mean, at that time, it was the only institute for the deaf blind. Nothing my folks could find anywhere else. And when I joined the institution, there was a different kind of learning here because the deafblind people, I mean, I was not accustomed to this kind of an institution, this kind of a routine. I had no friends, and at the beginning I felt really bored because this was a residential accommodation. I had a hostel, so every day I would be at the hostel. There were deafblind students, not many, but fortunately I started then picking up tactile sign language and braille. So this gave me something to start learning. Then there was a brailer, again a new technology. 1 year later, there was a deafblind person who joined because more and more information about this institute was sent out in the newspapers and other media out there. So there were more and more admissions. I was really happy to see more and more deafblind children, students of my age coming in. I'm really thankful to these students because friendship is a different kind of learning. It really helps you develop. We were in the hostel all day, we were in the school all day together. We were sharing our experiences, we were talking with each other, talking about how they became deaf, how they became deafblind. I was talking to them, they were talking to me. That really helped me grow my worldview. But see, I was a kid at that time. I didn't know about the daily chores. I didn't know about technology. I didn't know so much about tactile sign language. But we had this sense of unity. The deaf students, in the deaf school, sometimes would get angry at me. I would also get beaten sometimes. And we would get into fights, and the teacher would think that, we are being unruly, we are breaking the rules. And I would get, sometimes they would hit me with a stick and stuff like that. The issue here was the students didn't understand my needs. I was a kid. The teacher didn't know how to adapt according to me. So I was learning. I was a kid. Once the technological aspects came, into my hands, I got very, very interested. I was learning, picking up the brailler. Then I joined the ITI. I was the only deafblind student. There were a lot of other students. And there was a little bit of apprehension before they took me in, but I advocated. The main thing was why a deafblind student coming in. Deaf was not a problem because they could see, but a blind person, a deaf and blind person, how would he pick up these technological skills? How would they pick up computers? How would they learn? So the idea was to focus on the basics for me, but I was not someone just to get satisfied with the basics. I wanted to learn everything properly. So there was MS Office, and I picked up MS Office. There was a lot of content online which I could take it on my braille machine, my refreshable braille display. That was also a technology I could learn. I started picking up email on braille, the refreshable braille device. So that was when I passed my class 10, and I was with the National Association, and there was a lot of oppression for deafblind students to join class 12 at that point of time, because obviously there was no systems, and they would not accept having a deafblind person because of the deaf students were doing it, hearing students were doing it. But for deafblind, the system was not there. I was the only one at that point of time. So it was hard because the systems were not in place. There was a lot of lack of awareness. But anyway, I continued and I advocated for my need to finish class 12. I told them that I would need a sign language interpreter. And, when I typed on my refreshable braille display, the fact that I knew English, I knew how to communicate, I had thoughts. I had my own aspirations. that was something which really surprised the government officials, and I was allowed to then take the 12th exams. This was a small instance where there was a little awareness within the community about deafblindness. So now, as you already know, I'm a student of the School of Open Learning, Delhi University. But let me tell you that, there is no awareness when it comes to the admissions of students with deafblindness, the passwords, the usernames, because it's an online thing, right? How do I get in touch with how do I get all of this information? So I'm dependent on another interpreter of mine. The person's name is Sonu Pandey, who helps me a lot, but it's not an independent process.
So did not tell them that I'm deafblind during the registration.
During the registration, I didn't tell them that I was deafblind. My first semester exam, I went to School of Open Learning, and Saurabh was there with me as an interpreter. He was interpreting my whatever I was speaking, and they had no clue that you would have to pay separately for a sign language interpreter. There were no policies for that at that point of time. They would pay the scribe for writing, but not the interpreter. But for me, my needs were different, right? My sign language has to be translated first, and then it is to be written. So this also required me to advocate that as a deafblind person, my accessibility needs are different. I would need sign language interpreters as well as scribes. Then I started communicating with the SOL authorities, the management, and I complained to them. I complained to the UGC that as a deafblind person, these are my requirements. I'm yet to receive responses from UGC. So I had to think of my own solutions. There was a person called Pawan, who's a deafblind person. I told him about my issues. I told him that UGC is not responding to my needs. Pawan is a lawyer, not a deafblind person. I'm sorry. Pawan is a He's a blind lawyer. Yeah. Pawan is a blind lawyer. Sorry, correction for that interpreter's mistake. He is from Hyderabad. He's a blind person and an advocate, a lawyer, and he understands. Yeah, just clarify the interpreter. Okay, so he made a few calls, and he, through his network, he connected with the director. Actually, the person with his Dr. Payal, who is the director and also the professor at the School of Open Learning. She was shocked to hear that I was facing issues, and she inspired. She took it upon herself, because I told her the situation that there's no deaf-blind person at this point of time who's even in college. So that put things in perspective. They had a small workshop with me in a session similar like that, which they made accessible. I had my first semester, I failed because of not having accessibility, but the School of Open Learning, since the director herself is there, now things are easier. We are communicating. There's more awareness in people. So, yeah. Thank you. That's all. Any questions? He wants your questions. Yes, a little bit of water would be nice.
You talked about how your childhood experiences a lot, especially how you first had the hearing deficit, and how then in the course of play or unpleasant play, you also lost your vision. So and then you talked about all your educational, your movement. Can you tell us more about life, because these are very selected areas of life you picked on, but your day-to-day interactions as a deaf-blind person in managing the chores of life, traveling, friendships, social relationships, shopping. Can you tell us a little about that? What is it? Because as you said yourself, the awareness is still so little on the when there are these multiple. I mean, people are used to seeing people who can't hear or people who can't see. That's usual, a single disability. But when you combine the two, and you're at you can't accept the world through your senses now. So what is life, in the day-to-day management of life? Can you tell us a little more beyond what you already do?
All right, okay. Okay, thank you for the question. So yes, there are several challenges that I face day to day. So since I cannot hear, I cannot see. So the sense that I use is touch by feeling. So that's the first sense. So sometimes like people are not okay with touching, but I sometimes feel that people feel not respected but I have to touch the things and see. But sometimes people start beating me also. They say, like, "Kyun chhu raha hai? Kya kar raha hai?" Like, so the fights sometimes start. So that was a learning curve for me. So I understood because awareness is not there. So people would start beating me, like crowds would gather, like, why was this person teaching me or touching me? So I had to thrive through the challenges. Like on the road also when I'm walking, so I had to touch and then move around. So there was this teacher. Earlier I did not use a cane. So then that teacher said that if you are a deaf blind person that you cannot go out. I accepted it, but then I started learning how to navigate the world through using a cane. But they said, then you cannot go alone. You have to stay at the school only. I said, okay, ma'am. But I ignored her and I went around alone. I did not tell my family also. The teacher taught me that if you are at home also, only stay at home. Don't go out. I said, no problem, ma'am. That's fine. But I ignored that also. I was like, I have to move around independently. So I did not tell my parents. I planned to go out one day. So I thought that I had a friend in the same class. He was also deafblind. So we both planned. We went out of the home. We used the cane. We traveled through train. We traveled to different places. So we both were like putting our hands on each other's shoulders and moving around using the cane. So that was the first time that I traveled independently. So at any place like we reached, like to the railway station also, like if somebody did not knew the signs, they understand. Like we made some noises, we showed some signs like the tracks of the train moving. If people spoke to us, we said like, "Can you please lead us?" So they understood that we could not see, we could not hear. So they led us by holding our hands. We were taken to the railway station. We did not take a ticket at that time. We were like, "There's no need for a ticket." So we went into the train. We found our coach. We sat in it. So I started from Pune and then we came to Mumbai. So it was a 4-hour journey. So me and my friend, we were chatting, we were just having fun during that journey. And all the other people who were sitting with in the coach, they saw us. And on Mumbai, we got out, we traveled Mumbai. So on the road also, we using tactile, like touching, we understood. So we found a hotel also. So for stay, we were thinking where to stay. So we were searching for it. So and my family, my mother was thinking, where's Zamir? Like, what happened to him? Like, where did he go? She was so worried. She thought like, if some injury might happen to him, he might get into an accident. So she started calling people, asking people, where is he? Like, my mother started searching for me, asking the neighbors for help. Like, she was worried, he cannot hear, he cannot speak. How will he navigate? So they made a police complaint as well. Police started searching for me. They started calling to different police stations, but I was not found. So by night, we then came back to Pune. And the police saw us and they said that we have found one boy who cannot hear. See, they said, haha, ye, that's Zamir, that's Zamir. So my parents came to the police station, they got really angry. Why did you sneak out of the home? My whole family was surprised that I'm like, well, like nothing happened to me. So when I went home, I told my mother to not worry about me anymore. I can do anything independently. Please do not oppress me. Do not think that it's impossible for me to navigate the world. So they accepted. So I told them that I can travel independently. So I've flown, I take flights as well. I've done boating as well. So I can go on ships. I've traveled to very far away places from Kerala to Delhi and all over India through train as well. So through experiences, I've learned all these things.
Very interesting.
And are people
Correct.
helpful? I think like there's a lot of lack of awareness, and there's also a lot of, lot of cruelty, like we talked about in his childhood. But does he feel that he finds helpful people? I mean, what is his experience? Because many times he has to rely on other people.
Yes, so yes. So one more thing, yes, I just want to share. So like at home, like the attitude of the people is different, or the shopkeepers as well. Like when I'm at a shop, so I want to buy something, so I have to touch everything and know which is what thing. So the shopkeeper sometimes does not like that their stuff is being touched. Like they're like, "Yahan se jao, jao, jao. Please go away from here. Don't touch my stuff." Like if you're not buying anything, but they're not understanding that until and unless I touch and no understand what's that thing, I can't buy. So my parents also, they used to say, "Don't touch anything." So they would like take my hands. So I used to fight with them, argue with them that no, I have to feel it. So sometimes they would be like back and forth hustle also, like, and I would push people, like I would say, like, I have to touch that. This is my right. I need to understand. So the next time I went to that shop, so the person also saw me that, okay, this is the way that I have to go. He got aware of it. So initially people would not understand, but as I meet them, as I go forward, as I take my stand, then they understand what are my needs. They get more aware. So then they are open to the behavior that I do. What are my needs? So for communication, like I would ask them how much money. So I would take their palm, I would write like it's 50 or 100. I would buy myself. So they would write on my palm that it's 50 rupees, then we exchange cash. So I would do that independently. So he would like weigh everything, and then I would ask, "Kitna hua? How much?" So sometimes they forget. Like at first they would say, "Okay, I'm deaf and blind." Then they start speaking again. I understand they're speaking, so I would say, "Give me your hand. I have to write on it." That's like that. So I will say, "Okay, write on my hand only. Don't." So it would be like they would give a paper. I would like initially there's like a lot of confusion, like how to communicate with the person. The person should be patient also. Like a lot of people are never patient. So I said, don't use a pen, use your finger as a pen to write on the palm. So I said, like, just be patient. But yeah, like, let's do it like this. So he would write 100 rupees. Then he would understand, yes, yes, yes. And then if I have to take back 20, so like I would ask you how much I will be getting back. So that's how it takes time and patience on both the parties' part. I won't say like all the people are like this. Like there are some groups, like some people who take advantage of deaf and blind people. So I have heard that they said that they are like snails. So they would call them Kira. So, but one more thing is like, it's better that I cannot see their negativity. I cannot hear their negativity. So I am at peace. Whatever they want to do, that's fine.
Thank you very much.
So one more thing, yes. So snail. Those they are like going very slow. So there's one. Yes, you can ask the question now.
So thank you very much, Zamir, for this experience. Yeah, yeah, we can ask that also. Yeah, some questions are coming.
So you spoke
So
about.
I just want to know as to whether what is this plan to kind of creating awareness and do some service with this kind of experience in this field already committed. Any questions?
So answering that question, so for advocacy, like first thing is the attitudinal change that they need to understand that we are human beings, we need that equal access, we can be educated, we can live independent lives. So the awareness about deafblindness needs to be there. The respect for the people. Initially, the governments need to take the stand that we can live a life independently and educationally also, that we can have access to education. And until and unless we don't get educated, we cannot get jobs, we cannot build careers. So then getting different policies as well, insurance policies. So giving schemes for like their disability schemes also, so that we can be proud, the people of India who are deafblind, they can also live proud lives.
So why don't you read one?
Setbacks. Just direct the laptop.
There is any recommendation for the children with having a SEDB policy, which they can right? Muskan Jain.
There's a question. Shall I read?
Yeah.
Yes, I do know.
So the question is to
Detail one.
relate to yes. Muskan Jain. Online participation. So Zamir is saying yes, answering to Muskan's question. So he's part of the National Trust. So National Trust works with multiple disabilities. So there are people, they're focusing on people with autism as well as people with cerebral palsy and intellectual disabilities and person with deafblindness. So National Trust is one that's there. From there, you can get to know about other organizations as well.
So there's a question by, shall I say?
Yes.
There's a question by Shubhangi Vaidya. You spoke about advocacy, but you advise other people with the blindness and their families.
So answering that question. So there's an organization that's working for the education of people with deafblindness and giving awareness about deafblindness and the challenges that they face, teaching about tactile sign language, the basics of tactile sign language. So the families can learn tactile sign language to interact with their deafblind child. So that organization is Sense International. And when the teachers are also teaching, so there's also an issue. They say that one teacher has to be for one student then if you're using tactiles. So I know there are issues, there are challenges, but we need to take a start. So we all want to be educated. Like I want that all the deafblind people in India who all are there, they should get educated. They should spread awareness, whatever way they can do it.
Yes. Maheshwari Shankara, she says we have deaf and dumb school in Sivasalam, Some children draw very nicely, receive many prizes. Is there any opportunity to help them upgrade their career? Children there still sign language, highly talented.
Sort of repeating the question just deliberately. So for deaf people, there are other organizations that are advocating. So there's the National Association of the Deaf in India that's specifically advocating for the rights of deaf people. So there are provisions by the government also. They have advocated with the government. So I understand a lot of people say that you need to see, you need to hear, but that's the medical model. And that creates further discrimination. We want those people to be excelling in their life. So whatever skills that they have, you can like utilize them. You can make them participate in other mainstream events, not just specific to deaf. So they can spread awareness that deaf can do as well.
Somebody has flagged a hand.
Yeah, from
Jyoti, can you unmute yourself?
Down University.
Please
Sanjit,
unmute yourself.
unmute. Just unmute.
Yeah, to unmute yourself. Is it unmuted? Shall we have to unmute or unmute?
Maybe.
If it's allowed.
Saranjit Kaur.
No. Yeah, now you unmute.
Chat was missing.
Right, right.
You take her to right now.
Here you,
The chat box.
right in the chat.
So please unmute yourself.
No, you have to do that. Embrace is right. You can ask her to write down the chat box. Is there anything else? Something else is coming. You just not able to unmute. So it is our side.
She can type it to, she can type.
I asked unmute.
Yeah,
You can
you
see
can
it's already.
We cannot.
Opener.
I asked.
You ask her to write in the chat box.
She can write in the chat box.
Right in
Maybe
there.
just the security one. Sometimes we don't have option. Sometimes it's blocked.
Any not blocked.
Yes, also.
Oh, she's heard us.
It's still we can write.
I think given a message.
Try to put it in chat. Please put it in chat box.
I am unable to unmute. Why?
Yeah, you write that you share in the chat box.
Take my just a minute. Oh, gosh,
Sir, 8 minutes. Can I just check? Allowed.
Allowed.
Next time.
There's a question. Ranjit ma'am has sent this question.
What is the question?
He challenges and initiates for the deaf and deafblind empowerment. Okay, so it's organization, huh?
Not the organization.
Oh, so
So 2015, I left Sense International. Then I founded SEDB.
SED.
SEDB. Society of Empowerment of Deafblind People. From there, we started advocating further for the rights of people who are deafblind.
I think Chief Commissioner, oh no, Charity Commissioner, Chief Commissioner,
CCPD.
CCP.
So we went.
No, not disability, sorry. Registration. The organization CC. Chief Commissioner, no.
Chairperson,
Chair. Charity Commissioner. At the registrar's office, the registration for an organization, the chairperson and the management there.
So when we wanted to get our organization registered, so I went to the deaf person. So we met the registrar that we wanted to register our society, but we did not get any support there. So at that time, like I did not have an interpreter. So I connected my device to the laptop. I started typing there, and from there we had a back and forth conversation. She saw me like everything I was doing it, but they thought like, how can I communicate? Then he was surprised to see, he was inspired by my grit that I was typing using Braille. I was able to express his messages, which he was typing. So he brought the lawyers, all the people who were part of the committee who had to get our society registered. So they saw the proof, what were the reasons that we wanted to initiate the organization. So they handed me papers, but I could not read them. So I asked them to email it to me. So they emailed what all documents, certificates that we require. So I read the emails, I arranged all the documents, and then I sent them back. They quickly got us registered, and then we started working. So we got a CA as well, and our motive was to get access to education and get the deafblind people jobs and get them ready with different skills. So we had more and more people who were associating with us. So we started with first at 3 students. And then we took it as a message that, see, these people can learn. They became more inspirational for others. They became the role models. So we want to empower others to show that they can do everything. First thing that we need to understand the challenges that we face. Like when we want to interact with the government, they are dependent on spoken communication, or they would call you. So I would say that text me, message me. So when I message them, it gets delayed. The replies get delayed, or my message does not really reaches them. So we keep searching for interpreters. So because we need interpreters to voice our messages and talk to the government, but the funding becomes a challenge to pay the interpreters as well. And there's a dearth of interpreters in India as well. So that's one big challenge that we face. So to overcome that, we thought what to do. So we sent out a message through social media. And then I thought that it's better that I go out, reach out to different places and work with different interpreters. And I'm hoping that more and more organizations, they open up, they can fund for the interpreters to give us the access in this world that's hearing, that requires spoken language. And likewise, these sessions will help for the deaf-blind, that their awareness is there so that they can set up their own businesses, get proper jobs and build their careers.
Can I ask, Zamir, can I ask you a bit personal question since you wrote in your CV that you're married and also I got to know that you have a 15-year-old daughter. So how has been your experience of parenthood and how do you balance your own issues, your professional life and your parenthood? And what have you gone through, I mean, maybe at the time
Last
of
question.
marriage and, the personal experience, if you can. Sorry, yeah.
So yes. So at the age of 30, I got a proper job. So on Facebook, I was really active. So I got in touch with a girl. So she saw that there's this person, Zamir, he's advocating for the lives of deafblind person. And then she got to know that I'm also deafblind. So we started messaging. So we exchanged numbers and I started talking to her over text. So I had my own personal phone. So I did not want her to talk through an interpreter. So I asked her, so we only will chat through text. So it's our personal talk. So at late night, we used to exchange messages. So she is able-bodied. So she could see, so she understood, she accepted that. So we did not, she herself was said that she liked it. So we would communicate every day. So the girl only, the girl initiated that she liked me. She liked talking to me. So she's hearing, she's able-bodied. So she said that I was very happy. I was over the moon, but I was like, let's wait, like just see. So they visited my home. They told my parents. They said that we like your boy. So she came with a sister. So I was in Delhi, working in Delhi. So when they visited my home, so her sister initiated the marriage thing. My parents were really surprised. Do you know what's the condition with that boy? So they said no, they have been in talk with each other. My sister knows Zamir very well and they have a liking for each other. So I came back to Pune, we got engaged, then we got married.
Interesting. What is your daughter doing?
So yes, I have one daughter. She's hearing, she's able-bodied. So we had a like really good connection growing during her childhood because my wife used to be busy with household work and jobs. So I used to look after the home. So in the morning, I would take her, I would help her with bathing, taking her to the school. So my wife would leave by 7, by 9, like I would prepare everything. We would play around. We would talk with each other. She would get ready. So I used to cook also her meals and then take her to school. Sometimes she would like pull my hands that I want toffee. I would say, no, you won't get too many sweets or you will miss your bus also. Like first we need to go to the bus stand. We have to reach so that you reach your school. So I would drop her off. I would used to go to my workplace as well. So my wife, I used to work at night. So we used to exchange responsibilities like that. So now she's a grown up. So she's 15 and she's in class 10. So I have told her that go and keep studying.
Great.
Any more questions online? Actually, I have some questions for the interpreters. I mean, like, there's always used to be a lot of difficulty getting an interpreter. They were really in short supply and there was I think career options were very limited. So can you two tell us like how you came into this and how you made it into a profession for yourself? Can you tell us nowadays? I mean, I think Saurabh, you were in the Supreme Court. So just a question for the interpreters. Both of you.
I would just start. So, like, my name is Shavoy, and I'm in Delhi only, and I'm Koda, so my parents are there. And I started professional interpreting 7 years ago, and I've done my diploma course from ISLA TC, Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center. So I'm doing interpreting as a freelance. So I worked at advocacy organizations and deaf schools as an interpreter.
So what prompted you to take up this? Can you tell us that, the motivation?
So my background is in computer science, but once I started looking for jobs, then I was like, yeah, I do not want to sit on a computer all day. So I saw that there was a need for interpreters in India. So I started interpreting and I was like, this is the place that I belong to, and I've continued in this field then. Thank you.
So I am Saurabh. My sign name is S, and a side bag strap from the left to the right of my chest. Did you see Zamir's sign name? Renu might be knowing Zamir's sign name. You didn't see Zamir. Can you show your sign name, please? Just like this. The Z near the chest. That thing, right? So you saw Shivoy's sign name? No. Shivoy, can you show your sign name? It's like, imagine somebody wearing a Raja Ka thing and feathers coming out. So it's like feathers, on top of the head. Shivoy. Because his nickname is RAJ. I'm sorry. So I thank my girlfriend, whose name is right. She was working at Ummeed Aman Ghar with Harsh Mandar. He has 3 orphanages, 2 for girls, Fulkari. One was right next to Qutub Minar. 120 boys, all age groups, less than 18, 3 deaf. So this is where 2010, where she realized that these kids are looking at her all day. And she then searched for solutions, and she found out about NDS, Noida Deaf Society, Ruma Roka, if you would have heard Ruma.
Yeah.
Renu ma'am definitely would know. That was amongst one of the first organizations which started vocational sign language, communication, and these kind of courses for deaf, employed deaf teachers. She also had a beginner level ISL course for hearing every Saturday. We joined that. We learned 2011, that it was a 3-month course that finished, but our teacher was deaf. And entering, like Shivoy said, for him, parents are deaf. That means first language is sign language. For a lot of children who are parents are deaf and for hearing, and deaf parents having deaf children, first language is sign language. Otherwise, it's say 90% of deaf children are born to hearing parents. So first language, no acquisition, right? That is why the language delay. There's so much of time on speech, fixing and all of that. By the time you get to school, if you get to school, you're 7, 8, 10 years old. That language, that critical period is gone. So my Pallavi at that time got really interested. She joined the RCI diploma in hearing impairment, but she didn't want to do it from Delhi. She went to Northeast in a place called Meghalaya, in Tura. The Brothers of Saint Gabriel, they have schools in Ashokas. They have a lot of schools in Northeast. In Agartala, in Tripura, in Nagaland, they have their missions, and every place would have an integrated school, a special school for the blind, special school for the deaf. We taught there 4 years. And 2015, I was teaching till then. 2015, I meet Arun Rao, who is the founder. Renu ma'am, of course, would know. These people are like the people who were there in the 90s and the 80s already doing work. So he was someone who had interpreted for Sonia Gandhi on stage at a time when nobody knew about sign language. In 2015, we meet him, and he encouraged us to come into this line because sign interpreters were not there, it was not his course. So I get my first opportunity with Javed Abidi in 2016 for the DPI conference, Disabled People International, and ever since then, yeah, I have been working. I have worked with Zamir has given us this. So interpreting is a practice profession, right? Our only way to develop is by working with people, and in a way, we are appropriating the language of the community. They are not getting their due, but we are getting our pay. So it is a very it's a sticky kind of a profession. We have, you see how it, we are making our lives out of it. There's so many millions of deaf children not getting education in the language. So interpreting with Zamir, then there was Saudamini Peti in 2019, if I remember correctly. She got the D-Law Fellowship. There's an international fellowship called D-Law, which is Deaf Legal Advocacy Worldwide. She gets this scholarship. Saudamini Pete was MA Literature from Bombay University, a very strong deaf woman. She was part as the president of the All India Federation of the Deaf Women. And she decides to study at ILR, which is in Faridabad, Indian Institute of Law and Research, which is with the Maharishi Dayanand University, MDU. So I interpret with her 5 semesters of her LLB. So she recently got her Delhi Bar Council and cleared her All India Bar, but in April 22nd of April, she passed away. Yeah, it was very natural. She just went, and through working with Saudamini, I come in touch with advocate Sanchita Ain, who is advocate on record Supreme Court, a person with an invisible disability, who is now mentoring another deaf lawyer, which is India's only deaf lawyer right now, Sara Sunny from Bangalore. She had a case for the KVS, the quota. They are not putting deaf people in the quota, 4% quota. So that was being heard in Supreme Court. She requests the CJI that I have a deaf person joining from Bangalore. Can you please allow the sign language interpreter to join? And the CJI first thought that they are asking the court to provide an interpreter. They obviously wouldn't at that time. She said that we have an interpreter, don't worry, just allow him to turn on the video. So yeah, the Supreme Court thing happened, which was a very 15-minute thing. Irrespective of the fact that it is me, the point is sign language is now getting its, so people know if in Supreme Court they can demand for it, every other high court, district court, they can say it happened there, why isn't it happening now? So it's a precedent. High Court has recently empaneled 4 sign language interpreters and sent a letter to all the district courts that these 4 people can be called on. So Shivoy is one of them, I am there, 2 more interpreters. For Zamir, we have been doing tactile interpreting, but you see how when examination happens, it's a different thing. Do I take down, understand from him and write, or we have a scribe? And the university thing hasn't made that system yet, that 2 separate payments. Otherwise, all deaf people would always pay the lawyer and the interpreter, doctor and the interpreter. They're always paying twice. So these are the kind of things we are dealing with. And Shivoy and me, both are members of ASCII, which is Association of Sign Language Interpreters, one of the only 2 organizations in India, which is an registered interpreting organization. And of course, Renu ma'am has been there in this for a very long time. She knows the founder of the people who are behind the movement. And yeah, Zamir is here, so it's really cool for us. If they are not there, we are not there technically.
But they also need you as much as you need them. Yeah. It's total, it's codependent.
Actually, in the Western countries in Europe, they are coming out with this concept. They are asking for language concordancy. Direct communication. See, all of us, our parents, doctors, teachers, we have always had direct contact, right? All instruction, everything was direct. But for the deaf community, it's unique. You're wanting to share your problems, very personal problems, but you have to tell your daughter so that the daughter can tell the doctor. I'm a parent. Zamir is a parent. He doesn't want to burden the child with all of that, right? So these kind of issues are there. So they want that kind of straight, direct thing. But yeah, takes a lot of time for people to pick up.
Or maybe it will come when sign language becomes a normal option for everybody. And
in school.
In school, and it becomes necessary for people, it benefits people also. It's not so difficult to learn.
Yeah. My daughter is in class 4 in one of our NCRT chapters on sign language. I think either EBS or EBS.
I would like to push this back to Zamir. What would he think if, Because sign language is one. Second is also the tactile aspect of it.
Mm.
I was just asking Zamir, how many deafblind people all over India? Zamir,
And
How many
I wanted
deafblind
to ask
people?
that.
so maybe about 5 lakh or so. 50, did you say 5? 50. But then the census, we still don't have a separate category of deafblind people. So obviously that data is not being taken up. And the second thing that ma'am said, schools now have sign language. Do you think-
One chapter on that.
One chapter, class 4.
Only one chapter.
So do you think that is a good thing? If hearing children are learning sign language, how would it help the deafblind community?
There is also chapter on Helen Keller.
So hopefully language, both sign language as well as tactile sign language, and awareness about the various kind of technologies will definitely be a good in future if children get to know about it.
And also integrating the children with special needs with the normal children, I mean, so-called mainstream school is also important.
I would like to see what Zamir said. Yes, integration is good for persons with disability, deaf-blind. But see, the thing is, for deaf, the need is sign language. For the deaf-blind, the need is tactile sign language. And how do you adapt that in an educational setup which is so dependent on spoken language? So in this kind of a scenario, because of the specific linguistic needs, maybe the deaf and the deaf-blind can be clubbed together, because at least the medium of instruction can be same. But yes, at the same time, also focusing on hearing children, non-disabled children learning sign language, advocating for this, because then of course there'll be more and more people who would be available to support and help the community. I want, sorry, I'm just interjecting here, not our role, but Zamir, can you show your refreshable braille display? Because a lot of people might, I never saw how it works. And this is a window, I mean, Zamir uses this all the time, and it's something we need to see so that we recognize this. Yeah. It keeps on refreshable. This is, yeah.
So one question to everyone. So do you know about this braille device? Have you heard about this thing? Like, do you know, like when I was talking about technology, so what kind of technology that we use? Do you have any idea about it? Okay, I will show them.
So you see this black device which I'm holding, which has buttons on the top, and below this there's a thin strip which has about maybe 15 to 10 braille cells. When I turn it on, these cells automatically, now you see there are, it be connected to the phone basically, right?
He's asking for his phone.
He will just, even without the phone, I can explain it. If you can see the strip here, this is the braille element in that, right? When I connect it to the phone, I can use messaging apps, and the top part, below part you can see. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Or would you like to see it once closely? Renu ma'am, would you like, you already, you see it later. So when I connect this device to a phone, the messaging apps which I have, every time I swipe to a new message, I can then keep the phone and then continue. So for example, WhatsApp, that one chat, I can continue on that. Because the braille, every time there's a new message, the braille device is showing me the message, and I'm typing my response on that, and that response is going in. Then I'm quickly reading the response and again responding to the same. It's a keypad. keyboard, keypad. The same thing. ASDEF, that format.
So it's
Right,
called
like Q word T, K word T. I have the ASDF format, and with that I can very easily. Oh, doesn't need a wire, it's a Bluetooth though. Oh. It takes a bit of time.
Also turning on.
The phone is also turning. I'm clicking the navigation buttons now. Sometimes there are some glitches for it to just connect, and then we can start. So now I have connected it to the WhatsApp, right? I have opened WhatsApp.
You can send me a message.
Renu. Yeah, true. Renu. Yes, yes. Renu, I'm going to text you now. All of you see. So I opened WhatsApp now. I'm going to the tab where I see Renu, Saurav, DeafBlind members, Shruti. Sorry, there's a lot of people. So the Braille machine at this point in time is just telling me the last message. Yeah, I found Renu. I have opened the messaging tab. And I am going to send, sorry, typo. So when I'm writing, I'm also seeing what I'm writing because the Brailler there is updating the same. I'm on the message tab now, and I'm typing HELLO. I'm also checking it on the Brailler now. And yes, I am going to the send button and send.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, I'm good.
And Renu ma'am is going to respond. Okay. Okay. Yeah, waiting for your response.
I'm slower than him.
What is it again? You're responding what Renu ma'am just said. Zamir is fast. And thank you for that. Thank you.
So maybe technology is the way forward.
Just a message. He's reading your message.
Okay. This can go on.
Okay, I've read your message. I'm just responding to that. I say thanks.
So I just want to ask this one question. You talked about this, what is it, language concordance? Yeah.
Sorry, that was me.
Yeah, so maybe technology is the way we can actually have language concordance.
Yes, technology can help, yes. True.
Any more? Any more questions?
No more? No more? Okay, I now just have a short message to share with everyone. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, first, so it's been a pleasure that I'm here and you all are here. You learn about a deafblind person who is standing in front of you. You met this person and hopefully you learn a little about deafblind people and what they need. Hopefully in the future, for the independence and non-discrimination of deafblind people, especially for deafblind children. You know, we wouldn't want them to suffer. We want them to have a happy life. I don't want the future generation of deafblind people to, you know, have the same kind of experiences like me. You know, there's so many instances where they are not allowed to marry, not allowed to go out. Deafblind people need to be independent. They need to live just like I am. There are many, many deafblind people who don't have life partners. I am fortunate that there was someone who loved me and I have a family. There's so many deafblind people who want partners, they want companionship. It falls upon people like me to advocate for these needs, advocate for accessibility, advocate for education, for higher education. And similarly, I hope you all also, you know, join the community. I have an organization called SEDB, which is a big platform for us to communicate, to connect. There's so many NGOs which are working in this sector. Together, we are strong and united. You know, we will be, we can have that dignity and that network which we need to take things forward. Thank you.
Dhale has brought out any book in language about his own experience. He's really a role model, no? So that should go to others. And if it is in the braille language, it is still. Do you have any idea?
No, I don't, but we can ask him as because has he written up anything that we could keep in
It
could
will
be in braille or
right, yeah. It will be contributing.
Actually, he also
because we can always get the braille.
If you can share the email with them, he can share those with you, whatever documents. You can share the email with the requirements to them. You can email him. And he's saying, please do not share any photos, like I cannot access photos. Text I can access.
No, but can he share anything that he has written on this, maybe his organization or something?
That's what exactly.
That's what she's asking.
What will be shared? Is it in the written form?
Yeah.
Yes, I have it. I can share that with you.
Fine.
So that's very old, like I need to update it. So if you require that, I can share that with
That
you.
will be good for me.
Yeah.
Share it.
So I will make it more like presentable, more readable, and then share it with you.
Our library for students to look at.
It should be braille language.
He has a lot of videos. So SEDB
So
video.
that means that community people will
I'm sorry.
access.
What I'm trying to say is on the website, Zamir has a lot of personal videos, which is talking about his experiences, his aspirations
On the SEDB.
on the SEDB website.
Okay.
I mean,
That's the organization website.
I won't say it is complete about incorporating our entire journey, but you will find bits and pieces of what I'm talking in the various videos. There could be something missing out. And those videos have voiceovers and captions.
Okay.
Yeah, you could see a deafblind person signing. So that it is accessible. So
Yes.
you would be able to see those videos.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zamir, for being here and sharing your experience, and we immensely understood what is the kind of challenges and issues people like you face, and you have been working and contributing to the development of this. Wish that we will also collaborate. PWDS to do some work. Training is already there, and we will be able to research for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Thank you, Renu, for bringing him.
Yeah.
It's good.
Ready?
Thank you.
How many people we had online?
Only 30%.
I tried to circulate there.
Yeah.
We also shared